Bishop Barron, The Reality of Demons, How to Fight Them with Prayer, Debunking the New Atheists. We're just gonna watch this small part, because, this video is 2 hours long. I'm not gonna spend the entire stream watching this video. I don't know how, like, what's it called, educated I'm gonna be on this topic. So we'll see. But we're gonna watch it, chat.
One of the reasons I think Christianity is true is because so many people hate it.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
Jesus is really the great dividing.
He always has.
Honestly, bro, that is so true. Already? I paused so early, but that's, like, actually so true, dude. The Bible does say that we will be hated for our beliefs. Because, I mean, they hated Jesus first. So, like, if the world hates us, we gotta remember they hated him first. And they hated him enough to, like, kill him on the cross, dude. So, like, yeah, that's what I think about whenever I get hate online for being a Christian, which does happen, like, quite a lot. You guys have seen me on Twitter, you guys have seen me on Reddit, all the comments I get there, a lot of them just hate me because of my beliefs as a Christian and because of what the Bible says, and it doesn't align with how they want to, like, live their lives, which is, like, in a worldly way. They want to live, like, for earthly desires, not for, like, what God says you should live for, you know? Yeah, that's so true, though.
Divider, yeah. And why would you be mad at Jesus or Christianity when it's like a nonviolent religion that teaches people to love each other? If you're mad at that, it says something about how real it is, I think.
I agree. Both Billy Graham and Fulton Sheen, I mean, arguably the two greatest evangelists of the 20th century, said the same thing, which was the objection to God is rarely truly intellectual. It's a moral objection.
Totally.
The moral demand of God, it becomes too great. Jesus, if he's one spiritual figure among many, he's a great teacher, you know, like the Buddha, he's like Muhammad, he's like Confucius. Well, then I can kind of handle him. You know, I can put him in a corner and say, okay, that's interesting. I'll abide by some of that. And I also like what the Sufi mystics say. And I also like what Moses says here. But see, Jesus, as C.S. Lewis saw so perfectly, you know, is qualitatively different than that. And that's why he's a problem. Because if he is who he says he is, not just one teacher that I can listen to, but he's God from God, light from light, true God from true God, begot, not made, consubstantial with the Father. As we say every week in the Creed.
Through him, all things were made.
Yeah. If that's who he is, well, the game's over.
But why does it make people mad? I mean, one of the late life revelations.
I feel like, what's it called? People do use, like, the reason Jesus' name is used as, like, a, what's it called, when people are, like, upset or whatever, they use the Lord's name in vain. That has to say something for, like, how, like, powerful his name is, you know? That people use it, like, when they feel such strong emotions. Like, it's, like, built into us. Is, like, I don't know. That's something I thought about recently. It's pretty interesting. Thought I'd say it here, since, I feel like it kind of relates to what they're talking about. Billy Graham's one of the best evangelical pastors. He's famous in the 60s to the early 2000s. Oh, nice. I didn't know who that was. I don't really remember, like, many people. I don't pay attention to, like, celebrities or anything. I don't, if he counts as a celebrity. I don't know if he counts as a celebrity. To him speak. Okay, wait. Sorry for pausing the video.
My life has been that these great spasms of violence, these revolutions that we study, French Revolution, Spanish Civil War, Bolshevik Revolution, 1917, huge parts of World War II, were anti-Christian.
Absolutely.
The point was to murder Christians.
Absolutely.
But it's not recorded that way.
Yeah, but that's true. Yeah, but see, Jesus, he's a problem because of who he says he is, but also we're sinners. And so sinners don't want to get out of their sinful patterns. We're way too comfortable. It's like the Israelites that want to go back to Egypt, right? They're on their way to liberation, but oh boy, did we love the flesh pots of Egypt. At least we had cucumbers and right?
It's my favorite part.
Right, but that's the story of every sinner. Every sin is a type of addiction. You're addicted to, that's the principle. And so as I'm trying to move toward conversion, I'm moving across the painful desert, right, on the way to the promised land. I'm always hankering for Egypt. And so Jesus is a constant reproach, a constant challenge, a constant no. So of course I'm gonna resist him. Look at, the very fact, I think this is very interesting. Muhammad dies in his bed full of years. The Buddha dies in his bed full of years, surrounded by his disciples. Confucius, the same thing. Moses dies at the age of 120 or something, And then there's Jesus, who dies 30 years old, naked, pinned to a desperate instrument of torture, his disciples having abandoned him, his enemies mocking him. That's how he dies. What does it tell you? It tells you there's something about him.
Well, who would write that? By the way, if I'm trying to create a new religion,
no way.
He's not the hero I'm creating at all.
No, but it's a sign. He's a sign of contradiction. He's the one that's the way the world is going to react to him. Now, what's the good news? The good news is, having endured all of that, he returns. And I always think of this, if we were, Hollywood's telling the story, you never heard the Jesus story, but here's this guy with this horrible thing, and these people betrayed him and denied him, and they crucified him, and now he's back. He'd be back with a machine gun. I'm back for vengeance. He's back with shalom.
Bro, don't. I'm allowed to speak. I'm supposed to be. This is a reacting stream. It's a reaction stream. I'm not just gonna sit here and watch the entire video, dude. I'm not just gonna steal someone's video. The entire point is that I react to stuff. I'm not yapping. I mean, I am, but purposefully yapping, bro. Exactly.
Word of peace. And the way I put it in Christianity is this: we killed God, and God returned in forgiving love. And that's why, as Paul said, right, I'm certain neither death nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor height, nor depth, nor anything else could ever separate us from the love of God. How does Paul know that? Because we killed God, and God returned in forgiving love. That's salvation. That's the word of grace, if you want. That's the good news. That's what they went careering around the world to their deaths proclaiming, was that. Paul, I preach one thing, Christ and him crucified. Because that's the message, is we killed him, God raised him up, and he returned in forgiving love. That's the good news.
Do you think that?
Yeah, bro, that's awesome. Very awesome, guys.
There's one single video that's responsible for leading over 2,000 Christian men to permanently quitting.
Here we go.
Christian persecution is on the rise?
Oh, I know it is. It's documented. 20th century was the worst century for.
Yeah, I do feel like as Christians we are being persecuted a lot more recently. I'm still young. I haven't witnessed much of the world, but at least for me recently, I have seen a lot more people being what's it called, persecuted for being Christian. I myself have been online, which is not fun. I'm still gonna continue telling people about God, telling people the good word, because that's what I'm called to do as a Christian. And plus, if you have the way to salvation, why wouldn't you share it with everyone, But yeah, a lot of people hate me for it, but that's okay. I still love them. I still pray for them, and yeah, bro, speaking the truth, I am speaking the truth. I need to tell others the truth, which is the word of God. Stuff that's been going on online has been really awful. I'm not Christian myself, but I don't see what's wrong with you sharing your views. Yeah, I know, what's it called? I believe everyone has the right to share their views, which is, I don't understand why as Christians, we get persecuted a lot more than most people do for sharing their views. And I think it's just because, like what this guy was saying earlier, if, people in the world want to just stay in their sin. They don't want to follow God, because it's way easier to just sit in your sin and stay there and not try to be better. Because the devil, at the end of the day, the devil will actually give you anything you ask for, because he wants you to stray away from God. He will do anything in his power to stop you from having a relationship with Jesus. Which is why it seems so much easier to just live in sin, just continue sinning, not follow God. But that's very much the wrong way to live. Very bad. That's very much not a good way to live. The Bible tells us to sinning is bad. I think that's very clear. Sinning is not good. Yeah. Alright. Let's continue the video, since Jelly's yelling at me to continue it.
Christian martyrs of of Christian history, all the previous centuries combined. There were more martyrs in the 20th century than any other time. We think about the early church, they were all being persecuted.
Yeah.
Far greater in the 20th century. Now, around the world, we are by far the most persecuted religion. Absolutely. And it's a crime. It's an outrage. And we talk
dude, I actually, speaking of that, like, Christians are absolutely the most persecuted religion at this point. Because, like, you don't see anything else, like, happening. Like, you don't see any other religion getting, like, persecuted as much as Christians are. We, like, actually, like, people have been killed for being Christians, which is crazy. That doesn't happen in America because we have, actually, maybe it does if someone, like, murders someone for being Christian, but, like, our laws have, we have freedom of religion, which is very good, since America was founded on, Christian beliefs, kinda. Mostly, because, like, God bless America, yeehaw, all that. But yeah, I feel like you don't see, like, other religions being persecuted as much, which, I mean, yeah. Luckily, I don't live somewhere that would, I could get killed for my beliefs, but if I did, I would still believe in Jesus. I am willing to, like, lose everything for Jesus, bro. I'm willing to, I don't care if it costs me my career, people hate me online. I don't care if I lose friends because of it, because it's the truth. I'm not gonna hold the truth from people.